Hello everyone. Today I put away my mittens and my tulips are coming out of the ground. That's a sure sign of spring. While I'm on the subject of green things, today I'm going to work on this SD7 lettered for Burlington Northern. It's actually in good shape. So much so that I think it's never been ran. So let's take a look cosmetically there. The horns are there. The couplers, all the handrails are there. So this is normal. This is how they came from the factory. Green on the side and black in the front and the back. And as I said before, it looks like it's never been ran. Sometimes that happens because they come out with the factory with issues. So what do you say we put it on the track and find out? So it runs pretty good, although it's a little bit noisy. So maybe something's touching something. So I'm going to disassemble it and I'll see if I can find out if anything's touching something. They're pretty easy to work on. You just have to get under the body shell and pry on the frame. And this is not a split frame. It's just one frame for the whole engine. So I want to be careful with this. But at the same time, there's two pins that put it together. So if you can get them to snap out of it, then you can remove the shell. So the pins are towards the front. So as you pry them, you pry closer to the front, and there's weights in there. The weights are not hard to work with. You just want to manage them. And this frame, it's a real beauty. It has only one light though. There's no directional lighting on these. They work with wires, just like in the 1950s. But that's okay. If you get an E7 or a E8, they work pretty much the same. Do I like these? I kind of do actually. They run okay. You can get them cheap on eBay, that's for sure. And I don't see why you wouldn't want to have a couple of these just for fun. I sold a lot of mine. I kept the Union Pacific ones and I sold a bunch of mine just for I'm just gonna take note of the order in which they came in. I use my videos too sometimes to go back and look at things to see how they were put together. So it's a nice video for you guys. You have the reference if you ever forget how things are put together. Probably a lot more fun to watch this than to read the instruction manuals. There's a little gear in here that might fall out. It's not very hard to put back. So everything looks ship shape. I'm still going to clean the wheels because that's my thing that I like to do. And these are made very easy to do that. If you're doing, let's say, an FA2, the wheels are a little bit hard to get at because the trucks are soldered into the wiring. These, they have a little contact on each side. So that's super easy to work with. I really appreciate that. And then you have your wheels in your hands. Let me refocus that for you. You have the wheel in your hands. These are clean enough. And you've got all the leisure to check your gauge. Check your gauge and then readjust them if you need to. This one's just a tiny little bit narrow. The locomotive runs great like that, but since I have it here in my hand, I'm gonna readjust that. Now it's just perfect, and I'm gonna clean it using my rag. And that's it. Looks awesome. I just wanted to give you a little additional note. On the E7s and E8, which is the same type of drive, the middle wheel doesn't turn, which is prototypically accurate. On the SD7 though, it should be powered. So that's a little thing. Not a big thing, but it's a little thing. And then as we're gonna put this back, just give you a white background so you can see better. As I put it back, I play with the wheel and it's gonna move my gear back and forth so I can fit my little pin just a little bit easier. I will put just a tiny little bit of lubrication on the worm gear. It has some really nice little brass bearings. I actually appreciate that very much. Now I'll test it on the bench, so then I can know if I have something that's rubbing. It should become quite a bit obvious at this point. So yeah, just stick that to the bottom, and then the top one, just need a little bit more power. So that's very quiet. So I don't, whatever my issue was, I don't have it anymore. Now I'm gonna reinstall the trucks. So I'm gonna start with the back one. Just gonna make sure that you can see the hole. There's my hole, and I will bring the little pin from behind. Actually went straight in, so that's good. I'm going to just make sure that it's nice and even. So it just went straight in, so that was easy. Good stuff. So before I put the shell back on, I'm gonna see if my noise is gone. I can still hear it a little bit, but it's a lot less. I'm gonna put the weights back on, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So as I put the weights back on, I'm very mindful of my little wires. They should fit in precisely in these little holes. So I'm just gonna put the power back on. I can still hear it a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to be able to change anything. So I'm going to put the shell back on, and let's try it on the track. So this frame is pretty much interchangeable. You know, you can go like this or like that. Just remember the headlights in the front and the air tanks here also go to the front. GP7, GP9, the air tanks go to the back. SD7, SD9, the air tanks go to the front. So that should snap right in. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.